On this episode of Buff's Garage, we're going to take this 1955 Buick Super Riviera and bring it back to life. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold up. Hold up. What? Wait, who? Who are you? I'm you from a week from now. How? Yeah, you. How is this happening? You guys understand, right? Him. A week from now, right? So you're not gonna find any parts readily available. You couldn't find anything? I know you want to build this car, get it running and driving with everything here in the next couple days, but I've got to be honest with you and tell you, 1955 Buick Fireball V8 nail head parts are harder to find, and they are available, but you're going to have to spend a lot of money and wait a while. You can make this happen. You can do it. I'm telling you, I'm from the future. All right. Okay. All right. So there's still a chance. No, I already know. It is a really cool car, though, isn't it? Okay. Bye. See you next week. You're not going to like what you find when you open the hood. So on this episode of Buff's Garage, we couldn't find any parts to make this 1955 Buick run again, so thanks for watching. And like and subscribe. Just trust me. I'm from the future. So thanks for watching. Hit like and subscribe. I'll give you a hint. Trunk's open. Might go check that out. Even then, this will not be a 1 week rebuild. So take that in mind and see if your viewers will go for that. I'm from the future, so I already know that you will. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. That's important. Throw a comment down below. Tell me what you'd like to see out of this Buick. I already know the answer because I've went ahead and seen the comments, and I already know. You don't want a full restore. I already know that. Some of you really like the patina, and it's very patina-y, but that whole side has been kind of primered and painted white, and you'll see. But I already know what you guys like. I'm from the future, so I already know. Well, it turns out there were a few parts in the trunk. Not enough to finish the build, but enough to maybe get us started. So I guess what we need to do is dive into this thing, kind of get a better sense of what's going on with it, and get back to the intro. You again? It's not a lost cause. All right. See you all next week. Okay. Well, guys, so not all the best news in the world, but it's still a cool car, and I still think we should dig into it, see what we can do, and get stuff going this week. And we'll just make this a series. I didn't really want to do series as much on this channel. I wanted to do find the car, fix the car, and drive the car. That's what I want to do every video, but sometimes you come across one that you might need to spend a little more time on, mainly because you can't find parts. So this is part 1 of the 1955 Buick Super Riviera. Guys, we're going for a drive. Well, good morning. Got the harvester of sorrow all loaded up. And I'm sure I forgot something, but at this point, I just need to get on the road. So it rained last night, and that just kind of messed with my brain a little bit. I started freaking out about, did I put this away? Were these windows rolled up? So many things that just confuse the brain at a time that I need to be focused. All right, here we are. We're committed. We're in the truck, starting the truck. Trailer's on. Truck is running. now we're headed north. So it's about a 5-hour drive-ish. I think it maps out at like 4.5, but stopping for fuel, getting snacks, bathroom break, not pushing this truck too hard. There's no reason for me to run 70 or 75 down the road. There's just no reason for it. So we'll be cruising along in a nice 65 where it allows, and yeah, so it might take closer to 5 hours, but I let the landowner know where I'm going to pick up the vehicle, and somewhere around noonish we should get there. Well, I made it to Salina, Kansas. It's a beautiful day out here. Got my title paperwork and an empty trailer. So this guy's got a foolproof plan to get it loaded that he's done hundreds of times. So who am I to argue that? So I'm going to pull over into this other lot and, get kind of lined up. We're going to put some air in these tires and see if we can't just drag it right on. Makes for a lot easier loading and a lot easier day. Okay, so went ahead and got these horrible ramps strapped in so they don't immediately auto eject themselves, but can't stand them. Really hoping to do a trailer rehab soon. Thinking about making it a video if you guys would watch it. You tell me, would you watch a trailer rehab video? I guess I'll just put it out there and see if you guys like it, but the truth is, if you don't watch it, that would make me sad. So put it in the comments below if you'd watch a trailer rehab video. We'll just upgrade the fenders and fix all the problems with it, check the deck, maybe paint it, lights, all that kind of stuff. But right now, got the trailer set up and go back across the street, see if we can't air up the tires on the Buick. He said that they will hold air at least long enough to load it. Let's see if they actually will. And then we're gonna drag it on across the street. So that'll be the first drive, and see if it'll just roll right up on the trailer. Worst things could happen, right? Could eject off, it could Dukes a hazard over, who knows? Check this thing out. Woo! There she is.
And
Wow.
I almost think I think they told me that he's did the rebuild.
All right, let's see. Looks like airing up to me. See if we can get the other ones done before it goes down. Oh yeah, that one's good. That one's last. Let's do this one. All right, we're gonna see if we got brakes.
If you got any. I think you got them.
There's a little bit of a pedal.
I think there is. At least it don't go to the floor.
Doesn't go to the floor, yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're going for a drive. Gotta wait for traffic. Hopefully we can go. There we go. We're moving. Officially the first drive. Doing fine. Thankfully, people are being very courteous. Well, folks, what we have here is the cheapest 55 Buick Century. See the four holes there? With the title on Marketplace. It says $1,850. I got it for about half that. And it came with a great story. The older gentleman that had it before, quite a bit older gentleman who was also sick, he ended up selling it to the gentleman that I bought it from 10 years ago. And this car was sitting before then. And the older gentleman actually started working on it, trying to restore it, doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, pulled the engine. We assume started to work on it, but we don't know. But the engine does look fresh-ish. It is newly painted. It's not all original. And of course, then there was some body work. And there's a lot of parts in the trunk. I'll dig through that when I get it home. But then this gentleman bought it because he is a collector. He has very neat older cars. This was one that sat out here for 10 years just waiting to be redone, refinished, refurbed, rebuilt, something. And it never happened. And now he's starting to purge his collection. This was one of the first ones to go. He didn't quite get the asking price, but he was actually happy to see it go to somebody that's actually going to do something with it. And we're going to put it on the channel. Now the goal for this one is just like the last one. Let's see if we can get it running, driving, and stopping. It's kind of got brakes. It does shift into gear, so we know that's all at least hooked up. We just need to figure out the rest of it. Now I got a 5-hour journey home with the Harvester of Sorrow. Doing really good right now. So let's get this thing home unloaded and see if we can't get it back on the road. Almost forgot. Check these straps. Yep. That's to hold the hood down. That's to hold the trunk down. We got our axle strap down here on our axle. Yep, that's not going anywhere. Think we're good. Doors aren't going to pop open. So hopefully some of the rat smell and dust and dirt and debris goes out the window to become earth and soil again. All right, let's hit the road. Well, I got so hot loading up the Buick here that I completely soaked my t-shirt. So I ran into the old Blue Box store here and got me a new one. I mean, you can't go wrong. It's Dolly. Anyway, loaded up. These accessory straps for the hood and the trunk keep popping loose. So I moved the ones in the back. And hopefully they're strapped down enough. The front ones I can't hook to the fender because the fenders don't seem to be attached very well. So hopefully they stay. Otherwise that hood's gonna go up at highway speed and we're gonna have a big problem. But all right, I've screwed around enough. Time to hit the road and get home. Well, I made it home late last night. It was about 2 in the morning by the time I got back, and that's because I made some stops along the way. I drove nice and slow, keep the temps cool in the truck, and honestly, I wasn't in a big hurry to get back like I was to get there. So why push the truck if I don't have to? It's also pulling a heavy load. These things are not light, not like today's cars. This thing is a ton of metal. It's all in one spot. It's very heavy. And the truck did great. Didn't even act like there was anything back there, but I knew. So I took it slow, got home late, 2 o'clock, but made it. We made it. So now I got to hurry up and figure out what to do with it, because you guys are going to want to watch the video, and to watch the video, I need to give you something to watch. So let's get this thing off the trailer and see what it's going to take to make it run, drive, and maybe even stop. Oh, and I want to mention, just standing here trying to shoot video for you guys, I've had 3 people already stop within the last 10 minutes to not only talk about the car, but also they like all the cars that I bring around here, and so they have questions, and I try to explain what I do without giving away too much. Only I want a subscriber, but I don't want them hanging out at my house if possible. But it's my fault for bringing cool cars home. In this case, this one's gotten mistaken for an Oldsmobile, a Pontiac, and even Christine. I mean, I get it. It's an old car, but come on, really? I mean, first of all, wrong motor company. I mean, just, it's a Buick. And secondly, if it were Christine, it would have fixed itself by now instead of trying to fall apart on the drive home. Okay, back to work. I'm telling you, this commute's getting rough. Waking up at the crack of noon, trying to decide which t-shirt I'm gonna wear. Then having to drive a whole, like, 2.5 to 3 minutes because of traffic. Like, come on, I know your golf cart's important, but can you get it out of my way? I've got to drive 2 blocks to work. I'm telling you. I know golf carts don't go that fast, but seriously. And people are just parking their Jeeps in the road. Just park that anywhere, buddy. How's that go? You can't park that here. I mean, I guess I get to look at the lake on the way by, so that's nice. Very peaceful. It would probably be cooler on my way to work if I'd actually get up in the morning and do this instead of showing up at around lunchtime and then spending the whole day and part of the evening here. I get why people want you to be at work at 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning, whatever. I get that. But I got things to do in the morning. Oh, by the way, we're here. That took way too long. How long's your morning commute? Or an evening commute? Or how long's your work commute? I know what mine used to be. I definitely like this one better, but it could be closer. And we're here. Get all the lights on and get this thing running and driving and out the door. So I got a new project to bring in. So part of borrowing a new shop is having places to store stuff. And there's only so much room for benches and shelves and that kind of stuff. But I have an overabundance of paint cans and other volatile type stuff. And I can't afford the fancy hazmat cabinet from Grainger. So I got this metal cabinet given to me for free. It may not meet commercial code, but for what I'm doing, I think it'll keep the hot stuff away from the flammable stuff long enough to at least get out of there. So I'm going to do the right thing and go with this, because I had 2 cans of this Caterpillar yellow just laying on the shelf. No idea how old it is or what it was even for, but it's part of what you do is you got leftover stuff, you paint it yellow. I mean, it's hazmat, right? So we're going to paint it yellow. It's not quite bright yellow, but I think we'll get the point across. So free paint, here we go. It's actually not in bad shape, a little dingy, but we're gonna spruce it right up. Look at that. Beautiful. No sanding or primer, just shoot it on there, let it run and drip and everything else. It doesn't matter. So next up, I've got to put something between the insulation and us. So, you know, like a wall panel or wall covering, something just to make the insulation inside the shop there different from insulation. So rather than go buy sheetrock or wood paneling, I found this. This old tin was just laying here, and it is bent and folded in half, but the patina is really nice. So I thought, let's try to use that. I mean, I could use this other stuff, but there's less of it and it's modern. So I like this. So I'm gonna see how much of this I can get out of this pile and clean up and maybe hang up, and then fill in the gaps with maybe some pallet wood. We've got some. I don't know, we'll figure it out and you guys will see the result. Well, it turned out pretty good. This side needed a little more paint. The other side needed a lot more paint. But we got the front looking good, and that's all that really matters. We'll put some flammable stickers on there and just put all our stuff in it. Perfect. All right, most of my flammables are all in one spot now. That'll keep the old fire marshal away. Not that they're ever going to be in here anyway. Then we just close it up. Nobody ever knows it's there. Look at that wall. We still got a little bit to finish here, but I know somebody with some barn tin. Hopefully we can go snag that, finish up this part of the wall. We've got some sawmill wood here. We were just using for other stuff, but this works perfect. Even got the old Roadmaster wagon hanging up over here. Got the Conoco sign, one of them, I've got two. And then I got more road signs I can put up other places, and we will. Got the toolboxes. We're gonna put a bench right here. But it looks like a pretty good backdrop for doing videos and such. I think it's gonna turn out really good once I get all this cleaned up. Use some super clean. You know what's shocking is this thing sat so long and it had some air in it when I went to pick it up, I think. I can't remember. Let's look back at the video. Oh yeah, that one's good. That one's last. Well, either way, it held air all this time. This one's down. The other two are down. We're gonna try to get those aired up. I think it would just be easier to get it to roll if the tires had air in them. And I know this one is gonna lose air the quickest, so I'm gonna fill it up, do the other two, come back and do this one, get this thing off here and into the shop. Good looking girl. Gotta get her back into shape. Time for you to earn your keep. After taking a look at all this, I realized I need more parts. And I don't know how difficult it's going to be to find parts for a 1955 Buick Fireball V8. So I guess in this scenario, I need to maybe check the trunk and see what we have stored in the back. I guess first things first, we need to unlock the trunk. You can see they had it hooked with a bungee so long that the bungee deteriorated. I then strapped it for the ride home just to make sure nothing fell off. Let's see what's behind door number 2. Wow. All kinds of stuff. Some random gaskets and parts in the Master Chef coffee can. And another coffee can full of old bolts. That's promising. We have an entire radiator. $55. My guess is it's the original. Got an old flex hose. Look at that. Got some belts. Those look fine. We'll reuse those. This is troubling. I wonder if ours are even in the car. You'll have to go look at that. Got a lot of the trim. That's good. Some dash pieces. Empty box. A lot of leads. More bolts. Headlight rings. We got a lot of duplicates, which is good in case we need them. Wow. Look at that sticker. That's just cool. I like that a lot. More trim. Nice rear view mirror. Passenger side door mirror, it looks like. Ugh, how about a generator? Seems froze up. Probably not going to work. We even got a trailer plug, because who doesn't trailer with their 55 Buick? Some interior door pieces. Yeah, a lot of the car is here. Look at that. That looks like a fuel pump. What do you guys think? Is there a fuel pump to you? Let me get a rag. This is Spec 1 premium quality 10W30 motor oil. It was $1.49. So that should tell its age right there. Made in Selmer, Tennessee. It's real oil. And that blend or synthetic. I'll look that up and see what I can find out about it. Well, just looking up on the old internets, it was bought out by Philips in 2014, and this doesn't have a Philips logo on it, so it was at least before then. Plus it's $1.49. I mean, think about how cheap that was and how long ago it had to be. Thermostat. Oh, thank God, I was really worried. We got taillights. I was really worried we weren't going to have those lenses. Interesting fuel tank, like out of a lawnmower. Yeah, we're going to reuse that for sure. Look at this vacuum canister. Or is it a fuel can? No, it isn't. It's the washer. It's the washer bottle. It's a literal bottle. I love it. Oh, look, another mirror, the driver's side mirror. Perfect. A Chevy center cap, because we always need those. Some trim. Hey, there's the gas pedal. Or a gas pedal. Exhaust manifold. Full of rust and dirt. Even a jack in here. Look at that. Lots of trim. So this is definitely a project that's going to take longer than a week, guys. And I apologize. I like to get these things running, driving, and out to you within a week. But I don't see that happening. That's just too much to put together. I mean, look at it. A whole Blue Bunny tub full of bolts. Well, this looks like it was definitely a personal restore, like he was trying to do it in his garage. Look at that pretty piece. Look at that. I'm sure this was his dream, to get this thing all shiny and pretty and back on the road. But I don't know. I didn't meet the guy. I met the guy who met the guy who was working on this car. So let's do a little bit more digging and see what else we can find before we really dive into that engine and start buying stuff, because I can only imagine O'Reilly's, Napa, any of them doesn't have the parts on the shelf for this. See what we can figure out. Right, as we work our way through, I want to look inside this door, but I noticed this sticker right here. Does that say 1984? The title I have is issued out of Missouri. Last registered in 84. Here's the VIN for it. Now somewhere there should be a stamped options list. Where's that at on the 55? Wow, the smell is just... There's definitely a large animal that lived in there. I don't think it was a mouse. I think it was something bigger. Poor thing. It's just kind of wrecked. Do I dare go look in the glove box? Might as well. Look at that old carpeting. Oh, a whole lot of nothing but garbage in there. Such a cool old car. Wish I could find the options plate. It's definitely had a repaint. Yep, he definitely took the pedal out. There's the brake pedal. That's a different color of blue on the dash than what's on the outside. And so is that. So I wonder if this was the original and this is what they repainted it to. That would make sense. Lot to dissect, people. Let's see what we can figure out. Oh, no wonder. Parking brakes on. Rolls just fine. Should probably put it in park. Well, knowing what parts are in the back, let's take a look in the front here. Alright, so that's definitely been replaced. Yep, same for this side. No valve cover gaskets of any kind, so that's good. You know what else is good? There's actually oil up here, which means somebody's primed this at some point. So these Buick nail heads don't oil on the top end very well. And I looked at several videos about them, and even guys with good running cars say that when you first fire them up after a while, the top end clatters a little bit, and then it eventually works its way out of it. Well, as I understand, it's because they don't oil themselves very well. So you end up with a lot of noise, and you end up having to really just push a lot of oil up to the top of the engine if you want that noise to go away. I'm wondering if something didn't happen, and that's why this gentleman replaced this top end, was to eliminate that problem. Well, we know we need to get some parts, so I guess I need to start getting on the computer and figuring out what we need. I don't know what I don't know, and honestly, I don't know. it looks like a lot of parts. Let me dig through everything, start making some orders, and then we'll really dive into the car and do what we can do, which is clean it out and make it more presentable. And then as the parts show up, we'll see what we can do to make it run. Let's go. Well, okay guys, thankfully a lot of these parts were still here. They need some refresh. Of course, finding the gaskets for this isn't going to be easy. There is a thermostat in the trunk. And I found thermostat housing, which is good. I also found the rather elusive, special cone-shaped, the valve cover nuts. Oh, there's a reason why that one's missing. I found this one still attached to the bolt, so my assumption is he couldn't get the nut off of there. We can always thread that in afterwards, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit it with a little croil, see if we can't get the nut off the stud. Worst case scenario, we have to put the whole thing in there and tighten it down. It'll be fine. I did find valve cover gaskets at O'Reilly's, and what it said was a thermostat, but I don't know if it's going to work. I will have to go in and look at it, and if it's not right, it's not right. Thankfully, I can take the whole water manifold with me and check it there. Now, after going through some of the trunk, I found quite a few parts, screws, bolts, what have you, that make me believe a lot of it's here. But some of the things, the disposables, the gaskets, stuff like that, we're going to have to look for. The water pump turns freely, it seems. Not locked up. The engine, however, we're going to have to figure that out. Well, I've got a socket on the crank bolt. Well, it's not moving easily, so I guess good compression and or locked up. So we're going to pull, I'm going to go ahead and, well, everything is loose on this thing. I'm going to go ahead and pull the spark plugs out, and we're going to take a look at those and maybe shoot some juice down in there, get things kind of lubed up and go from there. I mean, looks pretty clean. I'm not saying they haven't even been ran, but they're an AC R45. I mean, they got some dirt on them. That would imply that at some point they might have been running. They don't look brand new, but after you sit for a couple of decades at least, I'm guessing you get a little bit of dirt and rust on you. But those things are clean. Let's keep going. Really, really clean. Let's do this. I like that. Good job, Bolster. That one had a little bit more dirt and oil on it. But again, electrode is clean. You can kind of see where this is going, guys. If it ran, it didn't run for long. But it does look like it has ran since they put spark plugs in last, whenever that was. Yep, dusty, little bit of oil, otherwise spotless. All right, let's check this other side. I'm glad I found this fuel pump, vacuum pump combo, because online they're almost $400. This one's a lot dirtier. A lot dirtier on the stem, but again, electrode is clean, not dirty. So I found another distributor in the back. This one up here looks to be in better shape than the one in the back, so I'm wondering if it's been replaced. I definitely feel like they started to make something happen here, and then they didn't finish it. Same as the others. You know, the frame's not really rusty, which is a good thing. And for the most part, it looks like all the parts are here, mostly. There's a chance we might actually get this going. This one had some dirt and leaves in it. So it's just been sitting collecting dirt. Got some oil around the threads, which is good. That means there's at least oil going to that spot. Let's get this last one out. So the whole reason why we're doing this is I tried to put a socket and wrench on the crank and make it turn. And it didn't. Another clean spark plug. Well guys, I think we need to throw some lube down those spark plug holes. Start trying to figure out why it's not turning over. You know, that is fresh oil in the valve train there. That's fresh oil. And I don't mean like a few days ago, I mean not really ran very much. I have a lot of hope for this, that somebody started to rebuild this and was in the process of putting it back together, and due to time, money, health, whatever the issue, had to stop what they were doing. I think we can make it run again. Let's just get some parts ordered, and in the meantime we're going to get the interior cleaned out, get the trunk cleaned out, just starting to try to figure out what we're going to do with this car. And maybe get the engine turning over. That'd be great. Okay, while I sit and wait on parts and such, I thought I'd go ahead and dig through here and start figuring out what's here, what's missing, what do we got to replace. Man, that floor is solid. Oh, I see why. Somebody has patched a new panel in there, so floors are done. Perfect. Headliner might be an issue. Right in the eyeball. There we go. You never know, we might use those at another time. For now, deleted. This looks like a book. What kind of book is this? Wow. No, I don't know what it is. It's painted. I don't know what this could be. Deleted. So this was an old seat cover. Ho ho ho. Holy moly. That's headliner. Let's get that out of here. This is seat cover. This is seat cover. Guys, they redid the seat. It got ripped and torn, but somebody made the effort to redo the seat. Wow. Would you look at that? There's the original color. I was wondering why the specs showed up as this color, not dark blue. Now we know. Let's get this one out of here, maybe. They just don't want it hanging down in our faces. We know. Sorry. There we go. This blue seat cover is falling apart. It's like the old Saddleman style, but was definitely molded to fit this vehicle. So whether someone built this after the fact or they bought it, I don't know, but it had the same seat design, just different seat color. This makes more sense now. Yep, I'm starting to understand it better. We're going to have to take this apart to get the top cover off. But I see what they were doing. They were covering up the ripped part of the seat without having to have a full replacement. Let's vacuum some of this crud out. It's gross. Alright, sorry you can't see my face, but I'm trying to be as cautious as possible. Alright, we had a blanket in the back seat, which is usually a bad sign. But we might have found something. That is rear quarter glass. Unbroken. Remember, ours is broken on the side here. Let's find a place for this right now. Yep, because there's one missing on the passenger side, and then this one on the driver's side is broken, and these are pristine. Go put those away. Now the most important part is, it was wrapped in newspaper. Health and Fitness, Monday, April 25th, 2005, St. Louis Dispatch. Now I don't know if he maybe picked this glass up later and threw it in the car, because the guy I got it from bought it in 2014. This newspaper's from, yep, Metro St. Louis Dispatch, April 25th, 2005. Now, we have papers laying around all the time, so it's not a good definition of time, but we know it's not been, the glass has not been in here since the 80s or even the 90s. So around 2005-ish, he acquired the rear quarter glasses. Perfect. A pretty neat old find, though. I don't like to set anything on the roofs, guys, because it ends up just staying there. More discoveries. More of the air breather stuff. All right. Let's dig back in the car. Perfect. All right, we'll continue investigating here. Get the rest of our bottom seat cover out of there. There we go. Ow, that's sharp. There's the other visor. So a lot of the parts are here, but they are in bad shape. Like this back piece on this side, it's here, but it's all worn out. Velcro gasket package of some sort. Ooh. Lubrication date, change oil, mileage, service plugs. That's pretty cool. All right, let's vacuum some of this out because it's gross. Radiator shroud still intact. Even got fresh spray paint on it. Exactly what I would do. That smell is overwhelming. So it's cleaner than it was, but it's not great. I found that the driver's side floorboard has been replaced with metal at some point, and they have just done the right thing and self-tapered it right in. The passenger rear floorboard looks rotted out, and some of the other is soft, but there's definitely missing metal in the passenger rear floorboard, and it's probably due to several things, but that house carpet that was throughout the entire car, it's a nice thick shag, it's wet and it's rotted, and over time it just holds on to that moisture and it just works its way down, right? So that's fairly easy fix. We'll just get some sheet metal, bang it into place, and self-taper that in. It's just so frustrating waiting on parts because I want to hear this thing fire up and run, but then I'd want to drive it and I wouldn't want to get in it because it's dirty. So we're going to continue the cleaning quest on the inside and see if we can't discover some more little treasures and secrets about the car. I got my super clean. I'm going to go ahead and hose things down a little bit. I know it's soaked into the seat itself, but every little bit helps, right? Oh, it's bringing that smell back to life. It's awesome. Maybe I'll be overwhelmed by the super clean smell. Wow, it is cleaning the vinyl right up. Let's see what we can do for this interior. Look at that beautiful Buick symbol. Now normally I would be a little more cautious with using concentrated super clean on things, but this thing is so dirty and gross, I'm just not afraid at this point. It can't get any worse. Love this big steering wheel. Back when cars were cars, man. It just... the poor turn signal's just rusted up. The gear select looks pretty good though. Mostly just dirt. That beautiful Cascade blue just coming out. It's faded here on the steering column, but down below, well, turns to rust. But it's really pretty where the transmission gear select was. I saw the gear select indicator in the trunk, so at least it exists. Lights, wiper, ignition. I don't have a key, but doesn't look like I need one. Heat, vent, fan. Love it. Summer, winter, off. What's this? Oh, somebody spray painted the dash. It's the wrong color, and it's flaking right off. This is defrost air, heat vent air. This one is heat vent. And this would have been a speaker for the radio. Still has the original Sonomatic in the dash. Here's all of our gauges. Now this seat smells god awful. Alright, we're going to use some window cleaner. A little less harsh. That way these plastics don't get all warped and scratched and what have you. $76,870. I'll bet that's probably right. That's not considered low mileage, I would think, for a 55, but also, I mean, it could be 100, but I doubt it very much. I'm pretty sure it's probably 70. Yep, somebody spray painted the dash and they painted it the wrong color. I mean, it happens. You go with what you got sometimes. when the paint comes off, the dirt comes off with it. So that's a win. Yeah, that's what happened. Whoever was doing this painting was trying to do a paint color change, and that's when they changed the seat cover. They went ahead and tried to match it to this new paint color they came up with, which was not original, and that's okay. Heck, the old original's trying to come back through. It does not want to stay lost. But this seat needs to go away. God, it stinks. Well, as I went through this earlier, we've got a lot of parts in here. A lot of good stuff that we're gonna either need to use or save for somebody. Operation of remedies. Oh, GoPro gaskets. Here's the problem, there's nothing in it. We know we're going to need the gas pedal, so let's save that. Window trim, fancy. That goes for that window. It's missing on the passenger side. More belt, more trim. Ooh, this is firing order. Okay, so these were on the outside. Of the exhaust manifold on the engine. That's what those are. Oh, a fancy repop, or at least a newer one of those covers. This, my friends, is the original battery hold down. Come on, that's worth something. Now, like all of these cars that I have, most of them are for sale. I mean, honestly, they're all for sale for the right price. So all of this goes with it. I'm not going to throw it away. That is a door catch. I think we have some extra parts in here. Hose clamps, yes please. Let's see if the floor holds. Oh yeah, solid. Bunch of miscellaneous bolts and screws. There's another one over there. Let's try to get them all. Access panels. Okay, vacuum time. Well, now there's quite a lot of stuff to go through here, but the trunk is emptied out and it's in relatively great shape. It's got a little rust in these far corners, but the rest is solid. I mean, a guy could come in here with a few coats of paint and shine it up real good. Put a full trunk kit in here, it would look just like factory. That won't be me though. So I'm not disappointed. That battery tray was a good find. I like that a lot. I'm going to put my good stuff back in here so I can keep track of it and it not get broken. And we'll get back to work cleaning. I had to go ahead and recycle part of the car into wall art. I think it goes well with the rest of it. Now, one of the cool things about these cars that I didn't realize, I'd heard of them, but I didn't realize it was on a 55 Buick, was the starter. So when you turn the ignition on, that's what you're turning on, is the power and the ignition. But there's no start in the tumbler. The starter is on the carb. So I'm gonna start investigating this thing and see if this carb actually has the starter piece on it. Is that it? That's it. It's there. Let me get some light. Yeah, it's right there. It's got the contacts and everything. Let me show you. So it's got these two terminals here, and then they hook right into here. And when your throttle pedal reaches a certain point, it changes the resistance inside this to where you get a certain amount of voltage that allows it to go through, and when it goes through, it kicks the starter over. How cool is that? So I guess I can do the wrong thing, hook a battery up in here and see what happens. Well, I've done the wrong thing here, and I went ahead and hooked up all the spark plug wires. I looked up the firing order to make sure I was doing it correctly, and for the most part, the wires were pretty much where they should have been. Obviously, they just weren't hooked up. At some point, there was some masking tape on there, which I assume had them all marked, but the masking tape's there, but you can't read anything. So let's fire this thing up and see what happens. All right. Super hot ground here. I hear sparkles. Okay, now as I understand, we gotta click the old on button here. There's a starter solenoid, and I noticed the cap was off of it. And it's so they could bypass that starter setup. It's one way to do it. Very inventive. Well, okay then. Absolutely the worst idea. Woo! Ground is hot. Let's go ahead and actually make this dipstick do its job. I'm going to say this is the wrong dipstick. It made it look like there was oil in there. It's going all the way in there. There's oil in there. We need to make sure we got the right dipstick. So that's a Amazon purchase there. All right. Well, I've sanded the points. I'm getting some sparks. I don't think they're probably good enough, so we may have to update some stuff along the way here. Let's see how bad we can tear this up. Oh, it is just pouring out of the bottom of the car. Perfect. My guess is we're getting no spark. You again. That work for you? So what now? It's not going to work. So what now? I know what I've heard. I know what it's said to do. But I look at it this way. You don't know if you don't try. And I did the tried and true. Put the ratchet on there to see if it would turn. It didn't do it. So I just fired up the starter because that's what I do.
What we do.
Same thing. Poured gas in it, and of course gas just immediately leaked out of the base of the car because it's probably not even tightened down and probably doesn't even have a gasket. I don't know, but I'm sure some went down. Well, I'm not going to stop you. I want you to keep working on it because I think you're onto something. Okay, well, we'll take the distributor apart. Go back to the future. Okay? Crawling underneath, it's definitely got an oil leak of some sort. Look at that. That's how you fix the spring back in the day.
You don't need to replace it, just wedge those little spring spacers in there. That'll keep it up. So taking a look at our starter, I'm actually thinking that the wires are okay, but the starter itself might have been smoking. So we need to just take her easy on this thing, because that ain't cheap. Heck of an oil leak though. Starting to think he did pull the pan off, repaint it, but I don't think he actually pulled the engine, because the engine looks like it hadn't moved. He just painted the oil pan and painted the top end, replaced some parts, and then called it good. There's our brakes. I'm sure that's fine. I'm not even gonna touch it. And since the access hole has been covered up by the floor that guy replaced, can't look at it if I wanted to. Interesting transmission. Pretty solid car. Solidly built. Be a pretty good car once we get all this little stuff figured out. If I've learned anything from my YouTube garage friends, it's that you can never be too careful. And safety is number one. Now, I have at least a way to slow down a really bad decision. So it seems the car needs a little bit more refurbishing before it's ready to go. So in this case, I definitely need to figure out a starter solution. So I could take the starter out and try to refurb it myself, or I do know some people that I can ship it to and they can do a quick turnaround and hopefully have it back to me before too long. But that means this car's not going to be running and driving by the end of this episode. It's just what it is. But I want to do this right. I think the engine is worth it. I think the car is worth it. Yeah, it has a little bit of rust, but it's fairly solid throughout. There's so much going right with this car. But like future me said, we have to give it a little bit more time and money. So that's what we're going to do. I don't like to leave you guys hanging in the middle of a video. But stay tuned, part 2 is coming, and it's going to be worth it. I think this car is going to be pretty amazing when it's done. Not only is this car cool, but it's got value. And at the end of the day, let's scroll through some of the values on a restored version of this. At the end of the day, if it runs, drives, and has a title, it's worth a lot more than what I'm going to have invested in it. So, I appreciate all you guys watching, following along, hitting up the Facebook, Instagram, even TikTok. The live streams have been going great, so make sure to watch out for those. I have plans to get one more camping trip in before the end of the year. So, which vehicle shall we choose? Probably not this one. But this one's going to be here. We're going to be working on it. It's a beautiful car, and it deserves the love that we're going to give it here at Buff's Garage. As always, remember to like and subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and make sure you hit the join button. Join the Tappy Tap Club today. It's $1.99. It's absolutely worth it just to get early access. If you like the merch, head on over to buffsgarage.com and grab you some merch. So until the next time, thanks for watching Buff's Garage. Wait, you guys are still here? Well, here it is. I hope things work out for this build. Thank you guys for watching Buff's Garage. Throw a comment down below. Tell me what you thought of this video and the 1955 Buick. I think I need to go back to the future. That was fun.